Well, good evening, and we apologize for being a little bit late. I've had about 50,000 people text me in the last 2 minutes here, so we appreciate you being with us here. Thanks for being with us for the Main Street Sports Standout Show for basketball for the 2023 season, 22-23 season. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL Media. Hope you guys are having a good evening, and we'll pull the music down here real quick. We're going to get things started right away here. We have a great panel in front of us here, in front of me. You can kind of see this setup here. To my left, all the way to the left over here, CB Walker from the Jefferson College Vikings, boys and girls coach. We can say that now, officially they're CB. To his right, or my right, and his left, that's Mr. Jeff Whitener, who will be emceeing basically today. Matt Bates, been a great announcer with us for the season this season. And Stevie Holdinghausen all the way over to the right here. And she is the basketball coach, girls basketball coach over at Jefferson High School for the Jefferson Blue Jays. And before we get rolling with some things, Jeff, good to have you here. I know you're fighting a little bit of a cold and things like that, but you're fighting through it, my friend.
We're going to power through tonight. This is too important to pass up, Ray.
I got it.
And we've got a great panel tonight. We wanted to have some coaches on here with us media goofs, because both of these coaches I know have seen quite a few these players play either on film or in person, boys and girls. So looking forward to it tonight. Before we get started, though, really want to talk a little bit with Coach Walker, first-year coach of the Jefferson College Vikings, the Lady Vikings this year, and soon to be first-year coach as well. You'll have the distinction of being a double first-year coach.
There you go.
For two teams here coming up.
Congratulations, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate
What I felt was an incredibly successful season, given what you were stacked up against to start the year, not really being able to come in and recruit, having cobbled together a team from all over the country and get these players to mesh and play well and really finish on a high note. Talk just a little bit about the season and how that went for you, CB.
Overall, I felt like the season went great, honestly. Just like you touched on, from the beginning to the end, I felt like our girls finally had a chance to come together. And once we did that, especially with getting Jacayla back, once we did that, we started to win games. We started playing a lot better. They started gelling a lot better. But it also took a while for them to buy into a new coach. I knew that was going to be one of the tests for me coming in, because they didn't know me. I barely talked to them in the summer. So, within our first meeting, that was one of the things that I said. I'm like, we just need to set a goal to just eventually come together.
Sure.
And we did. The record don't explain how hard they fought, in and out with the practices and everything. They compete, and that's all I can ask for.
Well, Coach, to that end, I know that as soon as the season is over, you already started making plans, and I know that you've been recruiting throughout the season for next year as well. But you've got some important dates coming up. First of all, you've got an open tryout coming up for both boys and girls team coming up here in a couple of weeks. I think we've got a graphic on that where you can throw up there.
Yes.
Sunday, April 2nd, women and men. Talk a little bit about what that's going to be like and some of the opportunities for players.
I think the key word that you put there is opportunities. I wanted to be in a position to where I'm providing opportunities for not only locals but anybody that wanted to try to come out. I had a chance to not only talk with my coaches, but, ran it by Bob and everybody else. I felt like it was going to be a great idea to try to do that, especially with the men's coming in and, me starting with the women's. So why not provide an opportunity for everybody to come and showcase what they can do?
Back in the process, we talked a little bit about the men's team. Obviously, there's been a recruiting effort put forth, and you've got some local players coming in, but you got a commitment, an overseas commitment from a young man in Great Britain yesterday that can come in and help the team a little bit. But there are scholarships and walk-on opportunities available, correct?
Yes, it is. And that kind of goes back to the whole tryout thing. For me, I want to try to get fan base. That's going to be the biggest thing for me. And with the program in general, I feel like you cannot run a successful program if you don't have people there to back you up. So that was one of my reasons why I wanted to hold an open tryout, because I get film every day. You know what I mean? But I want to be in a position to where I can see these kids in front of me and hopefully provide the opportunity for them.
and part of that it's changing that culture and having open tryouts. Getting some local talent on possibly both teams, so where you can build that fan base and change that culture. At one time. When the men's team was there previously, that was a pretty hot ticket in town. To have the girls and the boys play on both nights, and pretty exciting basketball played. And we've seen that at other local community college schools throughout our state that we are in our Region 16 play as well. And so we're really looking forward to that. But also, the next couple of weeks after that, you've got some really important all-star games coming up for you. And I think you've got another graphic there. Ray can show you. You've got anywhere from 7th grade boys and girls on up to seniors are going to have a chance to show what they have, right?
Yeah, I mean, going back again, this is the opportunity for not only high school students but middle school as well, to come in and see the gym, come in and meet me. I want to be able to provide opportunities for everybody, man. I want to get back to a point to where Jefferson College is known and it's going out in the right way. And I feel like the only way they can do that is to get out in the community. So that's one of the reasons why I was willing to do the tryout. That's one of the reasons why I was willing to do the All-Star game. And I got a lot more other stuff, playing up my sleeve to try to get that. I got this job and I was told that I needed to be an impact. And that's what I'm going to do, on and off the court in the community, however I need to get a lot of people to come out to support Jefferson College. So that's my plan.
Reestablishing brand recognition within the community.
Yeah.
About the best way to put it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's my goal, man. I've been saying that from the moment I got the job, even with my girls. It's a reason why I go show my face around campus every day. We have a certain time where we walk around. I don't go nowhere by myself. But, my job is to try to change the culture, and I'm going to do that no matter what. And I'm going to do it my way, but it's going to be in a good way for sure. I can guarantee you that, but I'm going to do whatever I can to not only put myself but our program on the map as well.
And seeing these events that you have going on, you don't have the luxury of having like a recruiting budget like Missouri Tigers, Tennessee Volunteers that have $2-3 million at their disposal just for travel. This is a way for you to get recruits to basically come into your own house, and you get to kind of pluck from there, as opposed to, well, if somebody's down in the mineral area, well, we just plan on them going down to MAC. Well, that brand recognition, having an event like this to where you might be able to draw something from another locale, as opposed to you making the trip down there independently. So I think it's kind of like a symbiotic kind of thing that you're going to be doing here, which I think is really awesome. And then to have the younger talent too, to where that's going to be imposed on them too. The Jefferson College Viking logo, the whole thing, to where that's going to be in their mind. Where do you want to go? Well, I could go to SEMO, but you know what? Maybe my stopping point will be here first.
Right. And that's why I told Bob that I'm going to do my best to establish the brand. Coming into this, you guys seen the LVM shirts and all of that stuff. It was just me creating something that was different, but also in a position to where I get talked about, but in a good way. Like, hey, he started this here. Let's continue to get it going. Let's get behind it. But I think it's going to start with the community and all the support possible that I can get. And I'm hoping to get that, with bringing the men's and the women's together, getting out in the community, making sure I bring the right people in to represent what I'm looking to do. I feel like as of right now, I'm doing that. But yeah, it'll be good next year. It'll be good.
So if you're a prospective player, parent, high school coach of some great athletes, middle school coach of some great athletes right now, what do they need to do to contact you, both either for the tryouts or for the All-Star games?
My emails are on the flyers. You can also reach me by the office phone as well. But I'm a people person. You can come in and see me. You can come and sit down and have a talk. If you want to meet, you want to talk. I'm willing to do that along with my staff, along with the the young ladies I have on campus. I love going out places. I'm not one that shy away from it, because I know in order to get your brand out there, I know what you got to do, and I'm willing to travel to go see, go talk, and do whatever I have to do. But yeah, you can reach me by email. We'll get that up on the screen here later. You can reach me by my office phone. But yet again, if you want to stop by and come talk to me, my door is wide open.
Fantastic. And to that end, and to the fact that you like to get out and into the community and establish those things, that's why we wanted to have you here tonight, because I know that you've been probably poring over film. You've gone out and you've watched some high school games. So want to get started here tonight with our 2022-2023 Main Street Sports Standouts for basketball. Before we get started, just real quick, I'm going to breeze through some of the criteria so people at home can figure out how the heck they came up with some of these. And this, again, like any other postseason accolades, it's subjective. You've got stats, but you've got different opinions on things. None of this stuff is perfect, and it's never completely 100% unbiased. So the standouts were picked anonymously by members of the local media in Jefferson County as well as coaches. Collectively, we saw over 75 games this winter. No all-star list is perfect, and this one sure will be debated. The list is based solely on our opinions from watching the athletes play, as well as statistics. The list includes JCAA large schools and small schools only. It would be unfair to add any suburban conference schools to that as we seldom saw them play. We chose 8 teams, first and second team boys and girls, JCAA large schools, and first and second team boys and girls, JCAA small schools, so 40 players total. And then we chose 1 MVP from all 4 categories. We choose our players regardless of age level or grade level. A freshman, if they performed well, they're going to get just as much weight added to their vote as a senior would. We made a point of not making any co-MVPs. That happened last year. We had a tiebreaker. We had a tiebreaker again this year for one of the categories. Each voter submitted their own personal picks. Ballots were reviewed. Unanimous choices were automatically made to the team. When we went by majority vote for the rest of the players. We know that some good athletes did not make this list. It is not our intent to slight anyone or upset locals or sponsors. This is simply our way to recognize who we thought were the best performers throughout the season and to have some fun. And as I said, the list of players is biased as most postseason accolades are. So, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, we are going to start off with our JCAA small school girls second team members.
Let's just put this out there. Don't shoot the messengers.
Don't shoot
the messengers.
That's right.
There we go.
All right. First off, for the girls JCAA small schools second team, we have from the Crystal City Hornets, the senior Molly Clemens. Molly was a first team all-conference selection, Class 2 all-district as well. She was a metro area leader in assists. She was first on the Hornets in assists, second in scoring, rebounds, and steals. Over 1,000 career points for Molly. And this is Molly's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Standouts team. And she was a unanimous selection to our Main Street Sports Standout team, second team this year. So we're going to start off, we're just going to go right down. We'll start ladies first if we don't mind. And I know that Coach Holdinghausen, you had your fill of the Crystal City Hornets this year. So talk a little bit about Molly Clemens.
Oh yeah, she's an excellent player. She sees the floor well, reads the floor well, can distribute the ball. She's great on defense, but offensively she really gets them going. And clearly she's the leader in assists. She's what their kind of offense goes through.
Average is 13.7 a game.
Yeah, and she's still a shooter for sure.
And I would like to get both coaches' thoughts on this as well. You're second on your team, averaging 13.7. So, whether you're the head coach at R7, whether you're the head coach out at Jefferson College, that is an awesome luxury to have where you're on your second team, and then this young girl is second on her team in scoring, averaging 13.7 a game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Coach, did you have a chance to see any film on Molly this year at all?
I have. I felt like she was a well-rounded young lady. Just like they mentioned, she can score the ball, but she was a really good passer. I definitely seen that in the film that I watched on her. She's good. She's good.
And I don't know, and maybe if anyone's watching, or Molly, if you're watching as well, you can fill us in on what your plans are after high school. I know that your first love is kind of volleyball. She's an excellent all-district volleyball player as well. So we'll have to see what her plans are. But you can always give this guy a call here to my left. So our next contestant, our next second team member from the Herculaneum Black Cats, it's the junior Amia Moore. And Amia was a second-team all-conference selection. She was a Class 4 all-district player. She was a metro area leader in steals per game. She led the Black Cats in assists, rebounds, and block shots, second on the team in scoring. Really, I felt she was a lockdown defender, and she was a unanimous selection to our Main Street Sports second team here. And really a kind of a pleasant surprise for me this year to watch Amia play now that she got more playing time in the Black Cat offense. And Coach, here again, another one of your rival players that was a thorn in your side, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and like you said, like she just defensively, she makes a difference. She can read the offense really well and able to pick off passes. And she did that against us. She did it very well, and she's not necessarily, I guess, what you would see is, you know, huge in stats throughout the game, but she makes a difference tremendously, and it starts with the defensive end.
That's what I was going to say. She might be second team all conference, but I think she's like first team defense. And when you have somebody like that at least in the games that I had seen that we had done as well, that not your standard typical big that you see down low or when you dial that up, but when you look again at the end of the day, the rebounds, the assists, the block shots, you're just like, where did these numbers come from? And for somebody that it's not on the scoring sheet for points, she's in all those other categories on defense to where you're just like, wow, what a job.
Absolutely. And Coach, Amia only a junior this year, so I don't know how much you got to see of her film-wise, but any thoughts on her play?
I've seen her in person. She has very quick hands. That's probably why she's in that area for us still. She's very aggressive defensively, just like she mentioned. She reads the offense very well. That's why her skills up there. But I like her quick hands.
Now, if we can just get her to grow another foot, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mia, congratulations. You made the second team as well. Third on our second team here for the small schools in the JCAA. From the St. Pius Lancers, it's the senior, Riley Capozzo, or is like what I like to call her the Yellow Jacket, and I'll explain why here in a second. She is a second team all-conference, Class 3 all-district. She led the Lancers in assists and was second in steals. She helped lead the Lancers to a 21-4 overall record in small schools conference championship. She is a tremendous three-sport athlete at 5'1", a tremendous three-sport athlete. And this is Riley's third consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standouts team. She was a unanimous selection to the team this year on the second team. And Riley will play soccer at the collegiate level. And I call her the Yellow Jacket because she's like on a fall day when you're sitting outside with a can of soda, and she's always buzzing around you. She's always buzzing around, and if you're not careful and you're not paying attention to her, she's going to sting you bad. And that's kind of the way she plays all three sports. A tremendously quick player, and just a thorn in your side. And here again, we're naming all these players that you've had some personal experience with, Coach. Talk a little bit about Riley.
She's a disruptor, offensively, defensively, and when you're smaller, you got to be able to do something that, you can't really work down low, but she takes it. I mean, she'll come from out of nowhere and just take the ball defensively and then just score it on the other end. And it's just so quick the way she does things. She's probably one of the quickest players in the conference.
I was going to say her transition game. Yes, definitely. I mean, she's a world beater up and down the court. And one of the reasons why, when you look at what St. Pius did last year at 16-10 to where they're now 23-4 this year, she's kind of in that collective triumvirate with P.J. Krodinger and Brooke Blankenship, who we'll probably be talking about. But when you look at that little holy hat trick right there of those three, I mean, her name's in there. Granted, going to be going out, but she's helped lay the groundwork for two other youngsters coming up through the program.
That's a great way to put it, Matt. And Coach, I know she's not going to play basketball, but I don't know if you've seen her play, but she's just been very exciting and entertaining. And I think she's a player that benefits from being so short because I think she could sneak up on a lot of players from behind and get the steals. But we'll talk a little bit more about the St. Pius Lancers here in a minute.
All right.
Fourth on our list from the St. Vincent Indians, and St. Vincent had a had a good season as well, but they've got some very young players coming up, and they're going to be very good. Lana Adams, the freshman from St. Vincent, second team all-conference, Class 2 all-district player. She was a metro area leader in steals. She led the Indians in rebounds, assists, and steals. I love seeing that when players lead in rebounds, assists, and steals. And second in scoring. And didn't get to see Lana play but maybe one or two games, and maybe Coach Holdinghausen, you can fill us in a little bit, but she's a dynamic freshman.
Oh yeah, St. Vincent's they're gonna be good for a while. They've got a lot of young players, but this one, I mean, she doesn't play like a freshman. I believe she's got like a great field goal percentage as a freshman. I mean, that it's just what she can do. She does not play like a freshman. She doesn't look like a freshman, and she can just play on all ends of the floor.
We've got four, or at least we had about four of them to pick from, and I got to tell you that when you take a program from 9-15 to 24-4, she definitely had a hand in what to say about that, and being a freshman, that just shows a lot of poise. She showed that up and down the stat sheet in every capacity.
And Coach Walker, when you see a player on the stat sheet and they lead the team in assists, steals, but also in rebounds, what does that tell you right off the bat without even seeing the player? What can you surmise from that?
I mean, for me, she's very active. She wants to be involved in the game. She's going to do whatever she has to do to be an impact in the game. She's second in scoring, but she's first in every other category. And some of those categories don't be getting seen sometimes if it's not scoring, but she fills the stat sheet. That's big time.
I think that it speaks to a high motor, but also heart and that desire to get that rebound. Because, yes, rebounding is an art to a certain extent, but it's also about
a will
desire.
and a want. Yeah, you gotta want that. It's a will and a want. Yeah.
Well, speaking of desire and heart, our fifth player on the second team here is a sophomore from the Jefferson Blue Jays, and that is Megan Wood. Megan was an area leader in rebounds. She was third in the entire of Jefferson County in rebounds, 8.61 per game. Second in rebounds in both JCA girls leagues. She led the Blue Jays in rebounds and steals and helped the Blue Jays to their first 500 season in 4 years. And I have down here fierce competitor for her. That, to me, kind of wraps up how I feel about Megan. She's not the largest post player in the league, but she definitely has the desire, Coach.
Oh yeah, she plays with grit. So what was huge for her this year is she wanted the rebounding record at R7. That was set in 2017, 2018 year. And she got it this year. I told her she needed 9 more rebounds, and she ended that game with 20. So, I mean, she goes out and she's aggressive. She gets it. She's an awesome player to have on your team. And I know that she'll be breaking the all-time career rebounding record very, very soon.
I would say from the games that we've done, whether it's ABA, whether it's college, whether it's high school, when I have looked at just some of the women's programs, there's almost, the women's programs just don't seem to be that eager to go after the rebounds. But the ones that do, that is what really stands out. Which, whenever you can name off like those top 5, that's the element they bring to the table. And I would say that's where, like Coach CB would be like, okay, that girl's on my radar because of this, and I see that when it transfers over to the collegiate game as well too. We've done a number of those, and religiously you'll see like 1 or 2 gals where you're like, okay, this one's going to the bucket, this one's going to get the boards, this one's doing this, and it just seems to be anybody can shoot from the perimeter, but nobody's got that gift to go in to do the dirty work. Would there be about a fair assessment, Coach?
Just like I mentioned, it's the will and the want, man. You gotta, if you want to do those things, you'll find a spot on any level, because that's art you don't got to teach. That's a will and a want. I want somebody that's going to go in there and go give me 10 rebounds. That's not going to be afraid to box that girl out, to dive on a loose floor. So those are the things that stand out, the will and the want. That seemed like that young lady got that.
Well, in your team, especially with getting Jacayla back at mid-year, you had 2 bigs down low that could really go after the rebounds and seem to feed off each other. That really improved the team. Yeah,
I thought so too. With her, Jacayla and Sydney, Jacayla finally sat down and talked to Sydney, but I think it was a Shawnee game. The Shawnee game, Sydney had a couple rebounds outside of her area. That was one of the things that, my old boss kind of taught me. You want to find players that can rebound outside of their area, not the ones that just come right to you, the ones that bounce off the rim, or you're going to be willing to go get that. And I
Right.
felt like that game against Shawnee, because, that young lady was big. She was coming in averaging almost 17 and 12, but Sydney did her job, used her body, but she got rebounds outside of her areas for
That was
sure.
one of those little turning points in the
Yeah,
season I like
yeah,
to
yeah.
look at for sure. The coming out party almost. Well, that concludes our second team, JCA Small Girls. Let's move on now to the first team in the Small Girls. And our first player on the JCA Small Schools first team here needs no introduction. Kate Eisenbeis, the senior for the Crystal City Hornets, first team all-conference player, Class 2 all-district, metro area leader in scoring, 17 points per game, rebounds, over 1,000 career points, equally adept at the high or low post. This is Kate's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Standouts team, and she was a unanimous selection this year as well to the team. And, going back, you mentioned it a little bit, Coach Holdinghausen, her and Molly Clemens were kind of a dynamic duo together, and Molly being able to feed Kate. But, one thing that I saw about Kate, she seemed to be very equally adept at the high or low post positions.
Oh yeah. She's sneaky as a post player. Like you think you have a body on her, and then she gets in position. She gets great position, and they're able to feed her that ball. And then her drop step, everything. Like her post moves they're great. And as a defender, you've got to do the work, and you've got to do it early in order to stop her.
When a program goes from 10 and 13 to 18 and 9, you would have to say Kate's 16.7 a game, but also being 22nd in the metro area. I mean, when you're cracking the top 20-ish in rebounds and averaging almost 8.5 a ball game, that's you're getting the tale of two cities on that. And I know that rebound number is kind of masked because it could be offensive and defensive combined.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is you still got somebody getting their nose dirty and going after the ball and also putting it through the bucket in the process as well, too.
Sure. Coach, were you able to see anything out of Kate when you saw the Crystal City Hornets?
Yeah, she's one polished post player. I would say she has some really nice moves down there. She don't really tend to rush. She takes her time, and she gets what she wants. She's a really good player.
Well, Kate Eisenbeis, again, our first selection here as we go through alphabetical order on the first team. In the second position, from the Grandview Eagles, we have the senior, again, no stranger to Livestream STL, Annabelle Wakeland. Annabelle, first team all-conference player, Class 3 all-district. The only player in the JCAA that I saw this year that made academic all-state, perfect 4.0 grade point average. She was our 2022 Main Street Sports Small School Girls Player of the Year, second in the entire metro area in rebounds per game, and fourth in block shots. She led the Eagles in scoring, rebounds, and block shots, over 1,000 career points. This is her third consecutive selection to our Main Street Sports team, and obviously a unanimous selection. And I don't know, Kate, if you're watching or if your Coach Winkler is watching, you can tell us what your future plans were. But I didn't think that you were going to pursue an athletic career in college, which was going to make me sad. But anyway, Coach Holdinghausen, I had this form wrong. It actually had her listed as a junior, and it sent Coach Holdinghausen into a panic because she was afraid she was going to have to play her again this year.
Yeah.
Coach, talk a little bit about Annabelle. Obviously, she's a smart player.
She is. She's a great player. Defensively, she just down low. It's hard to get anything against her. I think she had 90 blocks on the season. Like she's great down low. But the good thing about her too is that she is not scared to go outside and knock down threes, and that is awesome to have as a post player. And she played all the way around.
And a little Dirk Nowitzki in her. Yeah.
Yeah, up and down the lineup. I mean, her stat sheet just reads off the charts. I mean, just basically like I guess you would say like a 1B version of Kate Eisenbeis. Really, their go factor, they got high motors. Both of them do, and Annabelle worked her tail off.
And another great, smart player on the floor. When I think of Annabelle, I just think every move she makes is so calculated and so smart. Did you get a chance to see Annabelle play for
I
Grandview?
did. I thought she was very quick off her feet to block shots, but what Coach mentioned down there, her skill set to step out, that's big time. That's big time. You get to our level, that's considered a 3-level score. She's able to knock it down from the three-pointer, but also score from mid and on the block. But yeah, her ability to step out and shoot the three, and I like how quick she was off her feet to block shots.
Yeah, she's a great volleyball player as well, of course. So
there it is.
that helps right there. That's right. Our third player on the list may come as a surprise to some, but she got the votes. The freshman from Jefferson, Helena Lloyd, all-conference honorable mention this year, but she made our first team here on the Main Street Sports Standouts. Class 3 all-district player, led the Blue Jays in scoring, shooting percentage, and free throw percentage. She was second on the team in steals and assists, and she helped lead her Blue Jays to their first 500 season in the last 4 years. And Coach, obviously, Helena's sister, the senior state volleyball champion, Helena also a volleyball player as well on that team. But it's really on the basketball court that she really came into her own and shined. And she was, by the end of the season, she was a freshman no more.
Oh yeah, for sure. She, I believe she made all district too, this year. Again, she's someone that does not play like a freshman. She has the ability to go play anywhere on the court. If I put her in the post, she'll happily go play the post. She'll take it as a point. She loves to be off the ball. She loves to shoot. But she was just phenomenal for us. She can read the floor very well. She's an excellent passer. And I was so happy to see that her sister on the floor with her. She made some great passes to her sister, and her sister did as well. And just being able to have that freshman-senior ending, together was really great for them.
And not just because the coach is in the house with us here tonight, but the program goes from 4-22 last year to 14-14 this year. That's an 18-game swing.
Yeah.
That's 18 victories that have to be accounted for. Now, I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but all conference honorable mention, unless you did not watch any of the Jefferson Blue Jays games, I don't know how she can only be an honorable mention. When you lead not only your team, but when you're the shooting percentage, the free throws, she led her team 19 of the 28 games this year.
Oh, yeah.
In
absolutely.
scoring.
Yeah.
So whether you're winning or losing, she's still consistently your leading scorer. You don't get to a plus 18 by somebody taking a game off. And 3 of them that she missed, you guys lost all 3 of them.
Right.
So essentially, she was 19 out of 25 games that she was in. She was the leading scorer on the Jefferson Blue Jays team.
Yeah.
This is a freshman.
Oh yeah, when she was out with her concussion, it was huge. Like you could tell a difference on the floor, and it wasn't just coming off scoring; it was coming off everything, defensively, rebounds, assists, steals, and just directing the floor. Like as a freshman, that's huge.
So probably there are other numbers from other higher class ladies in this small school that'll probably get like an MVP recognition-ish, should say. But I would say Helena Lloyd, if she is an MVP candidate, she's my rookie of the year. Then I would call her that with being a freshman, that if there was a little trophy I could slide over to her, be like, because that was just impressive for what she brought as a freshman to the table. And then getting to see it firsthand, too, that unless you saw it firsthand, to be an all-conference honorable mention, even though it was a freshman, you may not have paid too much attention to the Jefferson Blue Jays.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Coach Walker, I have a Sharpie highlighter here if you want to just circle her name for the future, just to think about, okay?
Yeah, she didn't play like a freshman. Yeah, if you've seen her play, unless they announced and said she was a freshman, she did not play like a freshman. Her future is going to be very bright.
Well, speaking of bright futures, our next player on the list is a junior from St. Pius. It's hard to think of her as only a junior because I feel like we've been saying her name forever, and that is P.J. Krodinger from the St. Pius Lancers. First team all-conference, Class 3 all-district, led the team in scoring and steals. She helped lead the Lancers to that small school conference championship. To me, she is a natural leader on the floor, no matter what sport she's playing. Very high IQ, basketball IQ, but also soccer other sports. Her second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and a unanimous selection here, first team as well. And PJ, another one of those Yellow Jackets, a thorn in your side there, Coach.
Oh, yeah. She's an outstanding player to watch, though. I mean, even though she's going against you, you can't help but enjoy the way she plays the game. You can tell that she's passionate about it. She's so disruptive defensively. Offensively, she controls the floor. Everything that they do has got to run through her. I mean, she's that huge for their offense and their defense.
Yeah, she's the second prong of that trident again with Riley Capozzo, PJ, and Brooke Blankenship. That just again one of the pieces that makes the wheel turn, and she's everything that in spades. And and she gets another year, being the junior. So look forward to talking about PJ once again next year.
And she's probably going to play soccer in college. I mean, I think that's probably her number one sport. And she's great to watch out on the pitch as well. But just another one of those fun players. Sometimes you get caught up in there. You admire somebody and you just want to sit there and be a fan for just a brief second, Coach.
I mean, anytime you can mention underclassmen with a leader role, that's showing something. That explains a lot. And that's all I've been hearing around her name. Like, that's not the first time that I read, the leadership or her leading the team or, not having a problem with putting the team on her back. Like, that's big time when it's coming from underclassmen.
Absolutely. Well, that takes us through 4 of our first team players. Let's go to our small school girls, our 5th and final player on the list, and that is from the St. Vincent Indians, the sophomore, another underclassman, Allie Patrick. First team all-conference player, Class 2 all-district, metro area leader, pumping 17 points per game there. Also a metro area leader in three-point shooting and steals. She's obviously the outside threat there, her and Lana. Led the Indians in scoring and three-point shooting. Second on this team in steals, and unanimous selection to our Main Street Sports team. And another young guard for the Indians there. That backcourt's looking pretty good for St. Vincent.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, St. Vincent's going to be good. And they already are, but, man, Allie Patrick is something different. She, I believe she had 71 threes this year, and she was like 40% from the three-point line. I mean, she's a knockdown shooter. And she was definitely hard to handle when we played, but she's going to be so much fun to continue to watch play.
Yeah, she's ninth in the area. She averages a little over 2.5 3-pointers a game, and her percentage of Dranos was, when you're hitting about 39% from that land, and you're not taking like just 20 shots. She's averaging like 90 to 100.
Yeah, and all of her shots are smart shots. Like, they're not forced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and again, only a sophomore. So, wow. St. Vincent, definitely going to be a handful coming up.
And, Coach, even on our level of junior college, we see it. Perimeter players who can shoot like that are like gold, and every team has to have at least one. Some teams have more than one. They've stockpiled them like Moberly, but it's so important to be able to have that outside threat, isn't it? Stretch that defense.
Oh, yeah, she'll definitely have an opportunity at the college level if she continues to shoot the ball that way. That's a high percentage. That means she's shooting, just like she mentioned, she's shooting a good amount. It's not like she's only having like 10 and shooting at high percentage. She shoots it, so she'll have an opportunity for sure at the next level.
Well, speaking of the next level, we're going to take a break here real quick on the Main Street Sports Show, and we're going to come back and go through our JCAA large school girls standouts, both for second team and first team. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jacob Payton, and we are the Payton family. We're here at Crystal Highlands, and this is the course where we played our first round of golf together as a family.
So this particular course is beautiful. I have never been on a course that you can just stand at the top and see the entire course.
So we just started playing golf as a family this year. If you want a fun family outing that can grow as your family does, consider a membership here at Crystal Highlands.
Jenna Roth, Cedar Hill, Missouri.
Sierra Parker, Imperial, Missouri.
Sarah Roth, Cedar Hill, Missouri.
Kaylin Haas, Warrenton, Missouri.
Lindsay Brandt, Lynn, Missouri.
Bailey Willis, Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Tori Henna, Winston, Missouri.
Kayla Richardson, Greenwood, Arkansas.
Grace McGinnis, Fenton, Missouri.
Riley Branson, Sullivan, Missouri. Alexi Sanchez, Howe Springs, Missouri.
Sophia Wyrick, Sullivan, Missouri. Jamoyne Bagby, Winslow, Missouri.
Cameron Kessler, Fenton, Missouri.
Sammy Huck, Potosi, Missouri.
Taylor Marler, Park Hills, Missouri.
Hattie Ostermeyer, St. Charles, Missouri.
Alexis Finley, Wardsville, Missouri.
Mackenzie Daniels, Camdenton, Missouri. Mallory Rogers, Jefferson City, Missouri.
Colby Ott, Festus, Missouri.
Heston Gray, Mansfield, Missouri.
Jack Mashak, Kirkwood, Missouri.
Jaden Gugg, St. Jim, Missouri.
Riker Harrington, Republic, Missouri.
Trevor Quick, St. Louis, Missouri.
Boone Chevy from Springfield, Missouri.
Jacob Retchen, Jeff City, Missouri.
Dale Stewart, Willard, Missouri.
Jared Hughes, Republic, Missouri.
Luke Nichols, Bell City, Missouri.
Joe Dasho from St. Louis, Missouri.
And we are back here. We've already gotten some feedback from parents and coaches and things like that, so we're going to make a couple of adjustments here for the small schools here real quick. I'm going to throw that over there to Jeff. Jeff, can you elaborate for me on that?
Sure. I just noticed in that shot there you had a stalker behind you.
I do have a stalker behind me here. That's pretty crazy.
Who is that guy?
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Hey, we know that guy.
I've seen that guy before.
We know that guy.
I've heard he's going to help out at the college next year.
Hey, maybe.
Anyway.
We'll have to see. We might have to have him on sometime soon.
No kidding. Yeah, that way you don't have to do all these things. You can delegate. You can anyway. First off, Annabelle Wakeland will not pursue an athletic career. She's going to Missouri Southern to be a dental hygienist, and she'll probably be the smartest dental hygienist that we know.
Right.
Also, PJ Kroeniger. I apologize, PJ. You are a sophomore. I was thinking we've known you forever, but only a sophomore, so 2 more years of outstanding play from P.J. Kroeniger. And what else did I forget, Ray?
I think that's it.
Okay. We have, you were talking about baseball coming up.
Yes.
And you wanted to mention something there?
Well, sure. Thanks for putting me on the spot. We've got lots of baseball about to come up here, and we'll just kind of throw it here with changes and schedules and all that fun stuff. We've got Diamondcast baseball, Herculaneum against DeBerg out at Heinemani Field, Saturday at 11:30. We're hoping maybe that we're going to get a game in. We'll just see what happens. If not, we'll see if we can reschedule that. But we do have Vikings baseball that has already been rescheduled from tomorrow to Sunday. So that's against St. Charles Community College Sunday at noon. That'll be a doubleheader. We'll have the first game for you guys here on Livestream STL. And we wanted to maybe just kind of throw this out as well. Running a special right now on our sponsorships. So if you're interested, you're a business out there, we'd love to have you be a partner with us and sponsor with us. We're running things 75% off right now. So give us a call. Go over to our Facebook page, scroll down a little bit. You'll see what's going on with that. And you can give us a call as well. So there's my shameless plug.
There you go. Well, all right. Well, without further ado, let's get right into the large school JCA girls, starting with the second team. And starting with the second team from the Festus Tigers, it's the senior, Maya Curtois. Maya was an all-conference honorable mention player this year, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals a game. Kind of did a little bit of everything on the floor. Like Brooklyn Mall, Maya was able to play a variety of different roles on the team, and I felt was a plus defender. This is her first selection to the Main Street Sports Standout teams, and Maya will continue her basketball career at Mount Mercy University. And Coach Holenhouse, I know you're a small school coach, but I know you got to see Maya play at your alma mater, Festus. There, talk to a little bit about Miss Courtois.
Yes, so I did watch the Tigers play a little bit, and she just, like you said, like she's able to play all the way around, and that is something that's huge to have on your team, no matter what. And obviously, she's a great defender. She can score. I've never heard of Mount Mercy University, but I bet she's going to be awesome as a a player there.
Does roll off the tongue a little easy, a little Mount Mercy University, nice alliteration. But really, when you talk about the Festus, girls program, obviously your starting point is Josie Allen. Maya Courtois is that sleeper pick is like, name another player. Maya Courtois is right there and, is very deserving of that second team nomination.
And Coach, you got to see Maya play a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt like she was a all-around player for sure. Whether it was rebounding, whether it was scoring or it was assists or, scoring when they need to, she was where I wanted.
Yeah, just kind of an all-around contributor on the team. She's never like first in the stats, but she's always right there.
Yeah,
making a difference, and you certainly need those players on your team. And speaking of needing players on the team, there's another little segue there. We're going to get into some Hillsboro Hawks here next, and number 2 on our list from the Hillsboro Hawks, a freshman, Kyra Matlock. Hillsboro, and we'll talk about that a little later. They're blessed with some young talent coming up. And Kyra was an all-conference honorable mention player this year. She was among the metro area leaders with 4.41 assists per game. She led the Hawks in assists and steals as a freshman and helped her team to a 19-8 overall record and a JCAA large school conference championship. Coach Holdinghausen, did you get to see Kyra play at all this year?
Oh yeah, we played Hillsboro twice. So she can make some excellent passes to the inside while on the move. I know like one of her kind of go-tos is she's just so quick that when she catches, she just jab steps or fakes and then she's off to the races, and she can make quick passes right right past the defenders. And she was definitely a hard person for us to guard. And as a freshman, she's going to be, excellent for the Hillsboro Hawks.
Yeah, basically, Coach just took the words right out of my mouth on that one. Kyra Matlock, and again, only a freshman, along with the next one we're getting ready to talk about.
Okay, Coach, you got to see Hillsboro, I believe, when they were played over at Festus. What did you think of Kyra's game?
She don't play like a freshman. She don't. I've been in that gym multiple times to see them play. She don't play like a freshman. She passed the ball well, for sure. Her first step is very quick, and again, they got a good one. They got a good one.
Well, and they've got another good one coming up here we're going to talk about next as well. Another freshman from the Hillsboro Hawks makes our second team. That's Ashley Hilton, the younger sister of Kaylee Hilton, first team all-conference player, second on the Hawks in scoring and rebounds behind older sister Kaylee. Along with Kyra, was an integral part of the Hawks' success as a freshman here again. And I don't know how much more I can say about that. I mean, both Kyra and Ashley fed Kaylee as the big in the middle for them, but they could also make plays on their own. They could also drive the lane. Coach, what did you think of how Ashley performed?
So on here it talks about scoring and rebounds, and yeah, she can do all that. But one thing that she was huge when we played against them was she's got such quick hands on defense. She got so many deflections against us. So, I mean, it might not be like on the stat sheet, but she is an excellent defender as well.
Which is something you need to take into consideration. That's one of those intangibles from watching the film and stuff where that's kind of like locker room talk, right?
Oh,
that,
yeah.
You need to watch her for her quick hands, things like that. And once again, another freshman. So Hillsboro's definitely got some talent coming up through the system.
What'd you think about Ashley's game compared to Kyra's game, Coach?
I think one of the biggest things you can't take away from her, she's a really good defender. Watching her in person, just like she mentioned, she has quick hands, she has toughness. She's not afraid to stick her nose in there. And, going back to what I mentioned earlier, she's another 3-level scorer. She can step out and shoot the three. She has a really good mid-range, but when Dylan went out as well, she didn't have a problem going down there with her sister and, working that block. So that's another well-rounded young lady.
Pardon me, as a cough there. We're going to move on to our fourth player, second team. From the Windsor Owls, the senior Abby Holland. Matt, can you go ahead and read that one off while
I sure will.
cough my head off?
Abby Holland, senior from the Windsor Owls. All-conference honorable mention, along with Reagan Daly, a communicative leader on and off the court. Equally adept at the high or low post positions, and she could also shoot from the perimeter as well. Abby will continue her athletic career at Mineral Area College, where she will be playing softball. I got to say, I did not personally see enough of Abby Holland. And again, just, coming on board here, I did not see enough Windsor Owl basketball. But if you would take us through maybe what you do or don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Windsor is a team that we played. It was a battle all the way through, and again, she's one that we had to battle with. She's got great post moves down low, but she's a threat from outside as well, and you've got to watch her all over the floor.
Yeah, she could move outside as well when needed. And one thing I will say about her, obviously softball's her number one game, Coach, but delightful young lady, smart, high character, and a wonderful interview, by the way. So, Coach, did you get to see Abby play at all?
I did, and just like her ability to step out and shoot the three was something that caught my eye. Seeing her score a couple times down low, and then she hits a trailing three. That kind of caught my eye there.
Well, along with Abby from the Windsor Owls, we have our fifth player on the second team here. That is the senior, Madeline Mancuso. Madeline was a second-team all-conference player. She led the Owls in rebounding, steals, and was second in scoring. She made good use of her speed and athleticism on the offense and defense. She's a track star for them as well as a volleyball star. A unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and she will continue her athletic career playing volleyball for Lewis and Clark College. So, Coach, another athlete's athlete that can kind of do everything on the floor. She's got good size and cause a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, she's one that she does a lot of her work off the ball, which sets her up for great scoring opportunities. When they played against us, she was able to go set the pick and roll and then would just roll off it beautifully and was able to score off of it. Like she's one that can definitely set up her teammates, but also is able to get those shots for herself as well.
Real quick, Coach, looking at losing Abby and Madeline now, both as seniors going off to play. Now, how do you look at the Windsor Owl team? Are you like, well, because losing these two big pieces of their puzzle, where does that put you in position now where you're like, okay, well, maybe we're going to see them next year, maybe in a rebuilding kind of mode, if you will, to where are they going to be more vulnerable now losing these two big pieces?
Yeah, so kind of looking around everyone in the conference, there's a lot of teams that we're going to play that are going to lose a lot of key players. So we're only losing one senior this year, so we've got a young team that's well stacked, and that's something that we do look at down the line is where are there holes in the other team, and where can we really make a difference there. But again, we've got a young team that as long as we can get them, our biggest thing is going to be in the posts. We can shoot well outside, but we've got to do better in the post. And when you have players that can work really well in the post that are leaving, it kind of opens up that opportunity.
And we will see, Matt, we'll see another one of the Windsor Owls, a senior, it's made our list here, that will be leaving a big hole there in their offense as well. See a player like Mancuso play for Windsor, kind of a stretch player. She another one of these players that can do a lot, and she can make up for a lot just simply with her athleticism, Coach.
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. Her athleticism helped her for both ends of the floor for sure. And she used it well. Scoring around the basket, being able to keep up with, other guards standing in front, but also being able to beat her defender when she's on the post and, jumping over him. She used her athleticism very well.
I'm sure she will be a great athlete in college, volleyball athlete. And that brings us to our final girls team here, our JCAA Large School Girls first team players, and our first team player is no stranger to the panel here from the Festus Tigers, the senior, Josie Allen. Josie's first team all-conference MVP. She is Class 5 All-District. She averaged 17.2 points, 3 assists, 4 steals per game, among the metro area leaders in scoring and steals. Over 1,000 career points, helped her team to a 15-11 record. Her third consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. She is a unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. And she will continue her basketball career at Jefferson College, one of the first signings for Coach Walker for next year. So talk a little bit about Josie there. I know you've got to see her play quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. So what's funny is I remember the first time watching Josie Allen play. She was an 8th grader, and it was during, like, Hillsborough League, so she was allowed to come up. And so she's going against our varsity team, and she was on the point, and she was just breaking down our seniors and just able to just ball handle so well as an 8th grader, and you just knew at that time that she was going to be an outstanding player. And she filled that, she went above and beyond what I even thought.
And the sleepless nights continued from there, right? So you're not going to miss seeing Josie Allen going up against the Jefferson Blue Jays.
So we didn't play Festus.
Okay, I didn't know if you had any of those one-off games.
No, so we played them in like Hillsborough League is over the summers when we saw them. But we don't normally. We used to see them in a tournament throughout the season, but we don't play them as like a regular season game. So.
Okay. But
it's a good thing.
Yes. And then I was going to say that this is just a setup here for Coach CB to just give us his dissertation about what was the draw, how did this all come about, and how did it break down?
Oh, I mean, when I actually went out to watch Josie play and introduce myself to her, she told me she wasn't going to play college basketball. That was the first thing she said to me. I kind of gave her my card and told her to think about it. If I'm not mistaken, it was less than a week later. She called. We sat down and talked, and from there, the story's history. She's a Vikings for a reason. But being able to watch her play, man, she handles the ball well. She's going to be able to stretch the floor out because I don't feel like her man can go double because she can shoot the ball. She handles the ball extremely well, and I'm glad I got her on my team. For sure.
That takes a great communicator to be able to take someone. I'm coming out. Hey, coach, I may not be looking to go, that route. That takes a great skill set to be able to get someone to want to continue to scratch that itch. So kudos to you, Coach, on being able to do that because I know, again, coaches can coach.
Yeah.
The ball doesn't change. The basket doesn't change. But getting those players in and being able to squeeze that last blood out of that turnip, that takes a special breed of cat.
Appreciate it. I mean, that's just one of the things that I tell everybody, just come out and see me. With my tours, being able to give out campus, once I shut my door and preach to you how, I feel like that I can help you and you can help my program and what I can do for you long term, honestly, it's hard for someone to say no. And it's not a cocky thing, man. I've been down this road, as a player, as a coach, been doing this for a really long time now, even though that I'm young, but I know how to relate to players because I was once in their shoes. And I think hearing my story, being able to know what type of movement I'm trying to do at Jefferson College, and I think a lot of people want to be a part of it.
Very well said, Coach.
Well, as far as hearing your story, I'm hoping that this next player on our list hears your story as well, even though she's a great softball player as well, because, a multi-sport athlete wouldn't be a bad idea here. Anyway, our next player on our list, first team, from the Hillsborough Hawks, the junior, Kaylee Hilton. Kaylee, first team all-conference player, Class 5 all-district player, averaged 13 points, 12 rebounds, 2 block shots, and 3 assists a game, which were almost identical to her stats as a sophomore, so incredible consistency there. Among the metro area leaders in rebounds and block shots, helped her team to a 19-8 overall record, large school conference championship. To me, she was a dominating post player, but she also had great footwork. She wasn't just a post player. She could drive. She could do different things. This is Kaylee's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and she was a unanimous selection. And here again, another Hillsboro Hawk and only a junior. So next year bodes very well for the Hillsboro Hawk program, Coach.
Oh yeah, she is definitely a walking double-double. She, she gets herself into great position, whether that's down low or outside on the perimeter. She's a smart player. She plays very controlled and sees the floor very, very well.
And, you've got Kaylee coming in. Next year will be a senior. Ashley coming in as a sophomore. Really, this is just like when you're going up rungs on a ladder. Like once you step on Ashley, well, the next one up is going to be Kaylee. And so just trying to, surpass. And you talk about a 1-2 punch. The Hawks are going to be rolling out again next year. It's going to begin and end with Hilton.
So, Coach, we know that Kaylee Hilton's a great softball player, great pitcher, and I know that we've seen her around, and she definitely may want to play at the next level. But what do you think of her skills on the basketball court?
She's good. I like her quickness around the basket. Just like I said, I've been there to watch them play a lot. That young lady's good. She's very quick off her feet. She rebounds the ball well. She's starting to develop a nice little mid-range jump shot. She got the complete package. She really do. Hillsboro's going to be good, with her next year being their leader and everything. That's a good girl there.
Well, let me put you on the spot real quick with Kaylee. If she continues to improve as a player, and I know she probably wants to play softball at the collegiate level, but is she someone who has a skill set that if she continues to improve could play basketball at the collegiate level?
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's like a stretch four. Being able to set the screen and pop, being able to get a taller defender, a mismatch, taking them off the dribble, beating them off the dribble. Yeah, she can definitely play at the next level for sure.
Okay, very good. Well, our next player on the list is kind of a personal favorite of mine, watching her play over the last few years, and that is from the Perryville Pirates. That is the junior Brooklyn Mall. Brooklyn, one of a 1-2 punch with another player on our list here, which we'll talk about in a second. Second team all-conference selection, averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals a game. Helped her team to a 16-11 overall record, good enough for second place behind Hillsboro in the JCA Large Schools Conference. And this is her second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. Obviously able to play a variety of different roles on the team. I thought she was a plus defender for Perryville. Really just an integral part of her success with the next player that's going to be on our list here. But Coach Hollinghausen, did you get to see the Pirates play at all?
We did. We played Perryville this year as well. They weren't originally on our schedule, but we lost a game, and so we picked them up. And, it was – they have a great team right there, but she was someone that has great control on the floor. She reads the floor well. She can shoot well from outside as well. She's great inside. She's got great footwork, but she's just an all-around player.
Matt, did you get to see Perryville?
I did not. So I will probably be out of the next one as well. So I will let you speak on my behalf.
Well, I know that Coach Walker got to see Perryville a little bit. So any thoughts on Brooklyn as a player, Coach?
I think she's going to be very effective for them next year with Kyla leaving for sure. But I liked what I seen with her when I came to watch them play. She was a good player. Her and Kyla had that 1-2 punch, so it was good.
Exactly, they complemented each other well. And going right into that, complementing each other, we're going to talk about our next Perryville Pirate on the list, and that is the senior Kyla Schnurbush, first team all-conference player, Class 4 all-district player, averaged 18 points. 2 assists, 4 steals, and 5 rebounds a game. Among the area leaders in scoring and steals, over 1,000 career points for her career. Like her teammate Brooklyn Mall, helped her team to a 16-11 overall record. She was our large school girls Main Street Sports Player of the Year in 2022 by 1 vote. She was a unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team again this year, and she will continue her basketball career at Culver Stockton College. So, talked a bit about Brooklyn. Talked a bit about what Kyla brings to the table, Coach.
Oh man. So the game that we played against them, she was on a mission. She scored like 31 points against us. She hit her 1,000th point, and it's always tough when you're the team that's playing against someone that hits their 1,000th. But like I said, she was on a mission that game, and she just shot lights out. Open shots, whether she was driving to the basket, shooting from outside, she just did it all. And she was just phenomenal to watch.
Well, she's one of these players, Matt, and then you know from various sports, you watch them play the game. It's one thing to watch them play, but then you talk to them, and you hear them speak, you look at that look in their eye, and you just know this kid's a gamer. This kid is an absolute gamer, and I'm sure she left you with that impression as well, Coach.
Yeah, she played with some swag. That's one thing I'll say. She played with some swag and some confidence, and that's what caught my eye. And that's why I was trying to get her in Josie to represent my backcourt. But she's a really good young lady. She's going to be good. She's going to be good wherever she goes. I like her attitude. I like how she carries herself. And when you approach the game with some swag, that says a lot about you.
Yeah, she did not lack for confidence. That's for sure. So, all right, rounding out our fifth and final. JCAA Large School Girls First Team player is no stranger to our list, and that is a senior from the Windsor Owls, Reagan Daly. Reagan was first team all-conference player. She led the Owls in scoring, averaging about 10 points a game. Among the metro area leader in three-point shooting and free throw percentage, another great perimeter shooter. What I thought had an outstanding basketball IQ. This is her fourth consecutive selection. All 4 years she made our Main Street Sports Standout team. And Reagan will be continuing her basketball career at Lewis and Clark College as well. So Reagan Daly, another one of those seniors, Coach, from Windsor that's graduating. So Coach Schmidt's gonna have her work cut out for her next year.
Oh, yeah. Losing her will definitely have an impact. Like you said, she has just great basketball IQ. The way she's able to just facilitate everything on the floor, she sees it all, and she can handle the ball well. She can get it to open people. I mean, she's just a great player.
Outside of her, because when I read her stats and her numbers, and I'm looking at Natalie Hardy out at Eureka, where you're looking at, I think she was sixth in the area, like 82% from the charity stripe. That's another stat I think that just goes kind of under the radar, which is your proficiency at the free throw line. That when you're, and we talk about this all the time, and we're broadcasters, we're not that athletic to get out there to do it, but when you see time in and time out those free points that are being given to you and you cannot convert those, they find a way. They find a way to come back to beat you, whether it's in the very beginning of the first quarter and the team goes 0 for 4 at the line and you wind up losing by 3 points. Well, you had those 4 free throws. Guess what? You could have won by 1.
And, Matt, we've talked about it a lot. When you look at the stats overall, and I know that you really dig into those stats, Jefferson County, that is a weakness for girls' teams in Jefferson County, is that free throw line. And that's something that we talked about defense and what wins games, defense, rebounding, free throws, and that's something that the whole county can improve on, in my opinion. Coach, I don't know if you saw Reagan Daly play at all, smaller in stature, but pretty good perimeter shooter.
No, I seen her play. She's a natural leader, for sure. Watching her on the floor, she led her team, wasn't afraid to communicate, but it's like you mentioned, no free throws. I've seen her knock down 6 in a row, in clutch situations, and to me that's big time. Free throws can help win a game. Free throws can hurt you because you can lose a game too. So she's good. So, Lewis and Clark got a good one on their hand.
Absolutely. Well, that concludes our JCAA Large and Small School Girls Main Street Sports selections. We'll be right back after these messages with the boys, starting with the JCAA Small Schools Boys second team. We'll be right back.
The Jefferson County Tourism Commission invites you to explore the natural beauty, fine dining, parks, wineries and breweries, scenic drives, historic sites, and even a local raceway, All this and so much more. All these things can be found right here in Jefferson County, Missouri. Plan your trip today at visitjeffersoncounty.com, the main source for all things Jefferson County.
Petalin Pie, bringing wood-fired Neapolitan-style pizza, Italian wines, cold beer and soda, as well as Trek, Diamondback, and Redline bicycles to the Twin City area. Petalin Pie at 514 Bailey Road in Crystal City. Stop by or give us a call at 636-638-1080. Ride to eat, eat to ride. A pizza shop serving bicycles. Petalin Pie.
Hi, I'm Jacob Payton, and we are the Payton family. We're here at Crystal Highlands, and this is the course where we played our first round of golf together as a family.
So this particular course is beautiful. I have never been on a course that you can just stand at the top and see the entire course.
So we just started playing golf as a family this year. If you want a fun family outing that can grow as your family does, consider a membership here at Crystal Highlands.
And we're having a fun family outing. Speaking of fun family outings, right here on the Main Street Sports Show, getting ready to go through our boys, but Coach Walker has a special message for the seniors that made our first and second teams here on our Main Street Sports Standouts show. So, Coach, I'm going to send it over to you. You can look right in the camera and tell them what you don't need to tell them.
Yes, April 15th, 11 o'clock, we will have our Jefferson County Girls All-Star Game. I want all 10 girls that made this list, seniors, to come out and play in, and I think it'll be a fun event. And again, get your opportunity to be in front of me, get your opportunity to see everybody else, and hopefully we can get you out.
And like you said, you can't say no to this guy.
Right.
All right, here we go with our boys list. And for those on the panel, I don't know everyone here how many of these players we've seen, but we're going to go with our small schools boys first. Second team list. And starting off the second team for the boys from Crystal City, the senior, Ian Kern. And Ian was a second-team all-conference player. He's Class II all-district player. He led the Indians in scoring, averaging 12.1 points per game, and had a 35.5% three-point percentage. And he shot a fantastic 84% from the free throw line. Just outstanding. Ian, also a great baseball player for the Hornets. So I know that he's got that arm and that accuracy. But Coach Holdinghausen, I doubt that you got to see Ian play this year, and I don't know if you got to see him either, Matt. But
I did early in that Rolla Herbert tournament.
Oh, that's right.
We got to see him, and that was, again, I think that might be my thing, which is the free throw shooting, the three-point percentage. Ian, when he stepped up to the charity stripe, he was usually Drano from there. And he was another one that when you put him out on the perimeter, his accuracy from three-point land, and again at 35 is called 36%, when you're knocking down one of every three from out there, no matter what level you're at. And again, to the point I was talking to Coach Holdinghausen about, he wasn't taking like only 20 attempts all year to get that 35. I mean, you're talking a kid putting it up about 100 times plus.
Right, exactly. Coach, did you get to see Ian play at all for Crystal City?
He's a shooter. He's a shooter, man. He don't need that much time to get his shot off. Any space, it's money. I mean, you could tell with his percentage, and a kid that wants the ball in clutch situations to go, knock down free throws. But he's a great shooter. Great shooter.
And you touched on something there. Shooters making a transition if they go to high school, college. Probably the biggest thing is the time you have to get that shot off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where I'm sure where you're looking for great perimeter shooters. You're looking at kids that can get that shot off quickly.
Yeah, I mean for sure, because you get to this level, it's definitely different. But you got to be in a position to where you can get your shot off. Your man help. We drive and kick. This ain't no no slow motion. You got to be able to get your shot off and hopefully knock it down at a high clip.
Got to be like Caitlin Clark at Iowa.
There you go.
From anywhere on the floor, right? Our next player on this list. And this young man, I'm so glad he made the list because here's as somebody who is a solid player that his stats don't always quantify to what it, to, all these lists, all conference players and stuff. But you ask his teammates and talk to his teammates, talk to his peers, and they'll tell you what kind of player this young man is. And that's the senior from Herculaneum, Dylan Jarvis. All-conference honorable mention player. He led the Black Cats in rebounding. He was a plus defender. He was a leader on the floor with a high basketball IQ. And to me, Dylan was like having another coach on the floor. Obviously, his father, the head coach of the Black Cats. But Dylan was like that whether he was playing basketball or whether he's playing baseball. He's a natural leader, smart on the floor, and he just did so many little things right. I'm very, very proud and honored to see him on the list.
Another one that, you could make this like the Gabe Watkins show if you want, then just say, like, okay, name somebody else, on the Herculaneum roster. Well, one of the big spokes in the wheel was Dylan Jarvis. That he was one of those guys, and we saw that at the Hoops for Hope Classic, that, when you needed, Gabe was struggling to knock down points. You had guys like Ethan Hoskins stepping in, but you also had guys like Dylan Jarvis stepping in as well too, to pick up the pieces. And that's, to me, that's also what a great teammate does as well too. That, as much as, even shows like this, accolades in the area can make it about one person. He's team all the way through.
Okay, and to expound on that, Gabe Watkins will tell you too that one of the reasons for his success was the work that Dylan Jarvis has put in with Gabe as well. So, Dylan Jarvis, not a kid that's going to hit the stat book, not show up on a lot of lists as far as leading in stats and stuff, but a kid who's just an important cog in the wheel.
Yeah, he's a glue guy. He's a guy that keeps his teammates and everybody involved, but he's going to also go out there and do his part. He plays really hard. And, again, that rebounding, man, it's a will and a want. You got to want to go out there and do those things. So if you find a kid that can do that, great teammate.
Absolutely. Well, coming up next now, we have another great rebounder, a kid that's really come into his own for the Jefferson Blue Jays, and that is the junior, Caleb Weiler. Caleb was a second-team all-conference member. He led the Blue Jays in block shots, second in scoring and rebounds, and he helped the Blue Jays to share the small schools conference championship. Caleb was a unanimous selection to our Main Street Sports second team, and Coach Holdinghausen, I felt like Caleb, something really clicked in Caleb this year, and he really became the player that we always thought he could be.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it was exciting to watch him play this year. He was huge defensively, but just he kind of got into his own offensively and was able to just really dominate the post down low. He had great moves, and he was able to just finish at the basket. He fought for every possession that he had.
Yeah, big body, nice big down low, Caleb Weiler. And I think I did that every time I called his name. The I before E except after C,
right.
Except in Anheuser and Weiler. But, when you talk about the bigs down low in the small school programs, Caleb, and the fact is we get to see him for another year or two to see how he – because I think both of these coaches could talk about something where you get to see a player like coming into their own, as Coach Holdinghausen was talking about. But like when you do that your senior year, you don't get to see like where that goes another year.
Right.
Or like someone coming into coach's program down here at CB's where they're coming into their own their sophomore year, then they're gone. Don't get to see that progression firsthand. Where here next year we'll get to see Caleb and what he gets to build on from that year that he had and what a year it was.
Absolutely. Coach, did you get to see Caleb in the Blue Jays play?
I did. I was very excited about his soft touch around the basket and his ability to, block shots. But with him being a post player out there, I definitely felt like he had really good moves, but he also had soft touch around the basket, and that's why he finished a lot around there.
And it helped to have a couple of teammates here that we're going to talk about here shortly complimenting his skills as well. But moving on, player number 4 on our list is a junior from the St. Pius Lancers, another gentleman who's made our list in the past, and that is Patrick Flanagan. Patrick was a first-team all-conference player, Class 3 all-district player. He led the Lancers in scoring, shooting percentage, and steals. He was second in assists, and this is Patrick's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. So congratulations to Patrick, the ball handler. Coach Holdinghausen, did you get to see Patrick play at all?
I did not. I did see Pius play R7. When they did that.
Don't feel bad, Coach. I didn't either. So
when they did the split pink night, but I don't know enough to talk on it. Yeah.
Well, that's quite all right.
Yeah, back to you, Jeff.
And I'm going to sling it over to Coach Walker now to see if he got to see any of the Lancers play.
I haven't. Nope, I haven't.
Well,
But
then I
mean,
will open it up to Ray because I know Ray has seen Coach Flynn or Patrick Flynn.
Are you kidding me? You're throwing me on the spot again.
He's back there flipping his knobs, twisting dials, and
I'm about ready to stay in the zone, and you're throwing
Wake
me
up,
right
Ray.
out. No, hey Patrick Flanagan. You know one of the games that I saw, Herky game. The dude is relentless. He's a relentless ball player. Will do everything that he can to get under your skin.
Yeah, he's got a little swag to him.
He
a little
does.
edge
He does
to
have
him.
a little swag, a little under your skin type thing, but in a good way. You know, it's one of those things that you can take that, you can harness that, you can use that to your advantage for your team. And he sure did do that that particular night against Herculaneum. And, so that's the only game that I got to see him. But I'll tell you what, it was effective. Definitely effective.
Well, another player we're going to get to see continue to grow and improve through his senior season next year. And another player on that list, also our fifth and final player of the second team of small schools from the St. Pius Lancers, the junior John Whitman, makes our list as an all-conference honorable mention. He was a metro area leader in rebounds. He led the Lancers in rebounds and was second in scoring and block shots. So he was the big body in the middle for the Lancers this year. I can just tell you guys that if you haven't seen him.
Okay.
And
But Jeff, Ray, us here with the live stream STL program, this is where I think when Ray's talking about the discount coming up with advertising getting on board, this goes back to me talking about a program I wasn't able to see. You get the advertising in, you do business with us, we can get out there to do some of these games to where I can have more of a conversation about St. Pius Lancers basketball. And I think if somebody can take advantage of that, get the advertising sponsorship in, because this program can't run without the sponsorship as well. I mean, I would love to do this for about as free as we could. I mean, it would be a great thing. But you know what? If you want your kids in the area covered, and then it's just because this isn't just a radio thing. This isn't just a TV thing. This is a streaming thing. So if you got aunt and uncle that live out in Colorado, got the vacation home down in Florida, you can pick us up down there, tune in. So if you want to know more about John Whitman and what he brought to the Pius, program this year, I'd be able to talk more if we could get more Pius Lancer games done.
well, there you go. That's a good spot right there. You need to cut that one, and we'll talk about that one later as well. Cut that one out for a commercial there. That's
We'll call that a shameless plug.
Shameless plug. That's right. And that concludes our JCA Small Schools Boys second team list. We're going to move on to the first team now for the small schools. And leading off for the small schools boys, a gentleman from the Herculaneum Black Cats, a senior by the name of Gabe Watkins. Gabe is a first-team all-conference player, Class 4 all-district player. He was our 2022 Main Street Sports Small School Player of the Year. He was a metro area leader in scoring, assists, and steals. Led his team in those same categories, had over 1,000 points. This is his second consecutive selection to this team. He was a unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and he will continue his basketball career at Jefferson College. And Coach Holdinghausen, did you get to see Gabe play? You got to see Gabe play a little bit, I guess, this year.
I did, and that was a really exciting game to watch. It was the Hoops for Hope night, and he was a part of that whole 6 threes in a row that happened.
Yes.
That was really fun to watch. But I can't say that he is a great ball handler that's able to create shots like off the dribble and on his own. He just has a lot of really good moves that can, kind of catch the defense sleeping, and he's able to knock down those shots as well.
And I know Coach is going to talk about this in just a second, but back to that game real quick in specific, because we were on the live stream for that game, and I remember that last time out at the very end of the game, I was talking to Jeff, and I just said, hey, I said, we know who's going to get the ball for Herculaneum to shoot this thing. I said, would you double team him? What would we do? And he we were like, I don't know. I don't know if he has enough time to get the shot off.
Right.
And lo and behold, what happens? They throw the ball in. He's able to get it
half court,
behind half court, and still hits the backboard, like to where it was almost like almost like a destiny kind of thing. But it was like you could put 2-3 guys on this guy. He's still going to find a way to get around and navigate around you to be able to make what he wants to do on the court work.
Exactly, and he was, like Coach said, he was part of that game, which was such a great game. That small stretch there in the third quarter where there were 8 3-pointers made, and they just kept going back and forth like two heavyweights. That was probably the best basketball, the most exciting basketball I've seen all year. But, Coach, Gabe Watkins, your first male recruit for the men's team next year. Talk a little bit about what Gabe brings to the table for you.
Wow. I mean, a lot, honestly, a lot. Gabe is definitely a 3-level scorer. You know, he can score, he can shoot the ball from the 3, he can get to his mid-range, he can get to the rim, but he's also an extremely good passer. His first step, I don't know if you guys like really seen it. You know, I had a chance to, you know, get him in the gym and, you know, shoot with him and, you know, just kind of talk him over with some things, but his first step is very, very quick, and for his size, he's really athletic. You know, he rises up on his jump shot. He'll, you know, surprisingly might dunk on somebody just because they don't see that and can tell he's that athletic. But he's a real wound all-around player. He loves to defend too. He got very quick hands. He's going to be a good one.
His mind and the way he can see the floor as he plays, even for the last 2 or 3 years, has been already at a college level. In other words, his mind was a couple of steps ahead of his teammates a lot of times. He would make passes that they couldn't handle because he could see the plays develop and see the floor. And I know that that's going to bring him a lot of success at the collegiate level. You know, so I'm really excited to see what Gabe can do next year. And also probably the best mustache in the league, but we tease him about that as well. The stash. Moving right along now, our second player on the list, a junior from the Jefferson Blue Jays, and that is Mr. Nate Breeze. First-team all-conference selection, a Class 3 all-district player. He was a metro area leader in steals and assists. He led the Blue Jays in scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals. Swing player, comfortable guard or power forward. You can move him around. Helped lead the Blue Jays to a share of the Small Schools Conference Championship. And Nate Breeze was a unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. And another player that when the Blue Jays started off slow this year, and I think they were at one point they were 4-7 or something like that, Coach. Like Caleb, it clicked, and Nate really kind of took charge and realized what he could do to be a leader and take charge of the team and really take over.
Oh yeah, he's fun to watch. 'Cause he's so composed on the court. And the way that he's able to just do everything, even if it's like a very, you know, exciting time, crowd's not in it, like he just has this calmness about him, and able to just control the way that things are going on the floor. And he takes a beating, and he just fights through it. Like there's no quit in him.
Well, we certainly saw that, Matt, with him taking a beating.
Well, I was just going to say, because I hate to keep talking about that game, but that Hoops for Hope game had everything that you wanted in basketball and then some. Because I remember making the comment to you, and when we were hitting the fourth quarter, Nate Breeze been out off the score sheet all night. And when you're going into that game, you know, in your prep mode, everything, you know, that us, you know, broadcasters do, you know, we set this up as like the Gabe Watkins, Nate Breeze show.
Right.
And, you know, Gabe had like 6 points.
Going into the fourth quarter.
Going into the fourth quarter, Breeze was held off the score sheet, and we're like, okay, we got to find a new script to talk about. Because I'd made a comment. I said, you know, can R7 win this game without Breeze being on the score sheet? Well, next thing we know, he popped the can open as well too, and about 16 points later, you know, and he got his head split open. I think it was Black and Jarvis were down in the corner, and he caught an elbow to the head, split him open. He runs down to the tunnel, gets his head stitched back up, comes back out to do the post-game show with us.
With a towel on his head, though.
To where, I mean, and so when we were talking about kids that, you know, like when you see them in their growth, like we were talking about Weiler, you know, that, you know, I'm glad we get to see Nate for another year now to see where that growth, that leadership takes, as you were talking about, Coach, that, To see a kid that like coming to his own, but it's not like a year or two too late. And I think you're just going to see bigger things from Nate Breeze.
And R7's going to be good next year. They're only losing 2 players, and one of them is going to be on the list here. But when you're talking about Breeze, you're talking about Weiler coming back, and also Max Schnitzler,
Right.
who he can get hot and hit from the outside as well. They're going to be a really good team next year, and they're going to be tough. And Coach Walker, I know that I've been shamelessly plugging Nate Breeze to you, even though he's a junior this year. But I don't know, have you actually had a chance to see him on film or see any of his games?
Yeah, I seen him on film. I seen a full game. Actually, the game that you guys are talking about, I had a chance to watch that, just to kind of get Gabe some more tips and everything. But that kid, man, when you're in a position to where you can play and guard multiple positions, that's always good. He can go from the outside and then all of a sudden go inside. So that's good. The kid's he's gonna be good. They got a good one on their hands over there at R7.
Next up on the list would be the other Blue Jay, which is C.J. Johnson, a senior from the Jefferson Blue Jays, all-conference honorable mention. He was the Metro leader in three-point shooting and free throw percentage. He shot 93.3 from the charity stripe. That's not a misprint. 93%. Helped lead the Blue Jays to a share of the Small Schools Conference Championship and was a unanimous selection to the Main Street Standout team. Before I get to Coach Holdinghausen on this one, CB, I know I had looked at you whenever I had talked about that. How often do you come across a talent at any level there that's shooting 93% from the line? And again, you're I'm not talking a sample size of like 10, 15. This is like 70 plus.
And that's a lot of reps, concentration, muscle memory, good form. That's a high percentage, man. And I had a chance to see this kid. His stroke looks really good. He can shoot the ball. But, my hat goes off to him, man. That 93, that's big time, man. And, that's a scholarship type player. You know what I mean? Because you in a game, I'm going to foul him. Okay. He has the confidence to go to the line and, want to make those. So that's big time, man. That really is.
And that's just what I was going to ask Coach Stevie about is that, back to the high school level here, when you see a number like that, whether it's girls or boys, that not only is that a big number, but it's like when you're game planning, okay, here you know what? Here's who we don't foul. Because I'm sure those are some of those conversations that we're not privy to as well. But is that something that goes on in your prep talk with the players?
Oh yeah, you've definitely got to look at free throw percentage when you're thinking about any kind of game, especially a close game, on who to foul, who not to foul, but also like who you're going to put in a close game that is able to have that confidence to go to the line and knock them down. And that's the kind of player that he is. And he's so passionate when he plays too. Which is it's good to see because I feel like sometimes people look at a passionate player and they think that, they're just, it's their attitude or whatever, and it's not that. Like, he's passionate about what he does, and it's great.
And the passion doesn't get in the way to put him into foul trouble where some of that extra heart, extra stuff that we might see during our stuff.
Clearly, like, he's able to put that aside and knock down, just an unbelievable amount of shots. So,
well, we're going to move on to another senior now on our list here, and that is the senior from St. Vincent, Grant Abernathy, and he was a duo of seniors. We'll get to his backcourt teammate here in a second. First team all-conference, Class 2 all-district, metro area leader in three-point shooting and free throw percentage, another high free throw percentage guy that makes the team. Led the Indians in assists and free throw percentage, second in scoring overall, helped the Indians to the share of the Small School Conference Championship, and this is Grant's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Standout team. He was a unanimous Standouts to the team, and why don't I go ahead and I'm just going to add, we'll go ahead and talk about the fifth player on our list because they were the dynamic duo for St. Vincent here, and that is the senior Blake Monier, first team all-conference, Class 2 all-district, sixth in the metro area in steals, a metro area leader in block shots even. Another fantastic athlete, leader in scoring, three-point scoring and steals. He led the Indians in scoring, steals, and block shots, second in assists, and another unanimous selection. And those two players for St. Vincent, the senior leaders, really were responsible for them being able to make a run this year. And really, what was might have been considered a down year or rebuilding year for St. Vincent, but those guys came through big time.
This was a 1-2 punch that we saw from the live stream STL side. That Grant and Blake. I mean, when you talk about these two guys hand in hand here, you know, when you got the two guys on the team that are leading in steals, block shots, points, all the other intangibles, and this is where I'd ask Coach again here. I mean, these are two seniors, and this is, again, like your 1A and 1B. When you look at the pillars on your team, like we were seeing here with Windsor, St. Vincent's going to be losing two really integral parts from their team. And I don't, again, like maybe losing Yadier, you don't look like how to replace the guy, but now it's just like, well, how do you fill these shoes? What pieces do we have to fill the shoes? I mean, it might take 2-3, but two big formidable pieces to be losing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's some people you just can't replace, and I mean the things that they do you can't replace, but you've always got to look to how you can fill that spot. And again, like you said, it might take a few people to do that, but hopefully you can get someone younger and that'll look up to that person as a role model that'll really want to step in and try to fill what they did in the program.
And Coach CB, to this point here as well too, take it to your program, losing two players on your team where these two players are basically the leaders in every category that you want to put boxes and checks inside of. How difficult, how hard are those challenges to now put pen to paper, like, okay, how do we replace these two people?
Oh, man, it's definitely hard because you're looking at them two. That's like Batman and Robin there, for sure, because they accomplish each other very well. But, looking at our level, you can turn around and like, okay, how do I want to play? What do I have coming back? Do I want to build around them, or do I want to go out and actually go get two players similar to them? It just depends, but, I definitely think those two guys are going to be hard to replace there for sure.
Either of those two guys on your radar?
I think they're both coming in for the tryout for sure. I had a chance to talk to Blake. Just haven't had a chance to see him in person yet.
Excellent, excellent. We're going to move things right around because I know you folks at home are probably wanting to get to bed at some time tonight. So we're going to head over to the large schools now, the boys' second team. And from the Festus Tigers, that is our junior Carter Roth. Carter was another perimeter shooter, second team all-conference, metro area leader in three-point shooting. Also another 82.4% free throw shooting percentage. Versatile, heady player. I thought he could play the 1 or 2 guard with equal skill, but that's just me. Let's talk also about another Festus Tiger. You mentioned them in the same breath. That also made our second team here, and that's Logan Cash. Logan, the senior for Festus, a first-team all-conference player, a metro area leader in block shots, led the Tigers in rebounds and block shots, second on the team in scoring and free throw percentage, and also unanimous selection to the team. And Carter, where Carter was the outside threat, Logan did all the dirty work inside, and he was kind of the passionate player for them, Coach. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Festus was a really fun team to watch this year. And I will say, like, I love defense. Like, I love watching a defensive player, and Logan Cash was just one of those players that I absolutely loved watching. He just would, again, he would do all the hard, dirty work that you needed to get done, and he was so passionate about it, and he was just excited about playing and about the game, and it was fun to watch.
When you look back at the Herky program where you got Gabe Watkins, and then it's like, okay, well, who else but the other two kind of prongs on that fork, Ethan Hoskins, Dylan Jarvis. You look at the Festus Tigers, and it's like, okay, who do you have besides Armand Branch? Well, you have Carter Roth and you have Logan Cash, and you have guys – I mean, can you name people on a team that are leaders in a category that Armand Branch isn't a leader in? Well, right. Carter Roth and Logan Cash, leaders in rebounds, block shots. Another one's a leader in the free throw percentage. That, there is room on that roster for more than just one person, and these two guys fit the bill in that.
Absolutely. Coach, I know you got to see Festus play a lot. What do you think about Carter and Logan?
I mean, you're looking at two guys that play their role excellent, in my opinion. You got guys that, if my job out there to shoot and do that at a high clip, that's what I'm supposed to do. If my job going out here to be the dirty work, be the glue guy, hustle, do all of those things, Logan did that. So I definitely feel like both of them they went out and did what they had to do in order to help their team win.
Well, we'll move on to our third player now. This is from the Hillsboro Hawks now. We held over Highway A to make our third player on the list, and that is the junior Luca Poole. Now, Hillsboro and Windsor are interesting on this list because of their multi-guard system they play, the team concept. Some of these guys could have been interchangeable on the list. There's guys that didn't make the team, first and second team, that could have made the list. There's some really good players we left off, but Luca Poole did make it based on votes. He led the Hawks in steals, second on the Hawks in shooting percentage and assists, and was a plus defender who, at least in the games that I saw, he usually had to guard the opposition's best player. So I don't know. You guys probably didn't see Hillsboro at all. Coach, can you speak about Luca?
Yeah, I had a chance to see him play when, again, you got a tough-minded kid like that want to take that challenge of guarding the other team's best player. You know, to me, that's big time, and that's accepting that, you know, another guy that's accepting his role and doing whatever he got to do to go out and help the team win.
Exactly. Well, we'll head down to Highway 55 now for our next player, and we're heading back to Perryville, and that is the senior for Perryville, Ethan Blythe. Ethan was also the quarterback for the Perryville Pirates football team, averaged 18.3 points per game. He was second on the Pirates in rebounds and block shots, and a real tough physical presence on the floor, kind of played with that football mentality. And speaking of that, he will continue his athletic career by playing football at Missouri Baptist University. So Ethan Blythe, another kind of tough as nails kid. At the end of the night, you see him play, and he's playing well out there, but then you look, it's like, wow, he got 18 points. You know, it's like, holy cow.
Sneaky good.
Absolutely. Any thoughts, Coach Ethan Blythe? Did you see him play?
I have not seen Perryville play.
Okay. Go.
I mean, that's a natural leader there. You know, talking about a quarterback, talking about somebody that can take care of the physicality, but also come in and help lead another team. You know what I mean? Like that's big, and that's kind of showing what you can do. You're a natural leader, kid. So, you know, that's good. That's good. Best of luck at football.
Our fifth and final second team player for the boys' large school is from the Windsor Owls, and that is Britton Shirk, the junior. Here again, really good players were left off. You could have gone with Leighton Hollis probably. You could have gone with several other players in the way they use their multi-guard system, like Hillsboro. Britton was a second-team all-conference player. He was a metro area leader in assists. He led Windsor in block shots and was second on the team in assists and steals, and this is Britton's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports team. And I don't know, Coach, you probably didn't get to see him play. Did you get to see him?
Well, I mean, to me, it was kind of a flip between him or Kyle Gast from up at Fox. Was just kind of a flip of the coin with me on either one of those two. But, yeah, again, one of the three prongs that we're going to be talking about, a couple others here coming up from Windsor. So, basically, he's just in that clumped group of naming players, you know, on the team that, right. You know, and Britton Shirk is definitely one of those that gets down and dirty and into the hard areas.
Exactly. Coach, you got to see Britton play?
I did not get a chance to see Windsor play.
That's all right. You'll probably get a chance to see him this year. Well, you got to see this next player, and is our first player on our first team for the JCA Large School Boys. Gentleman from Festus, senior by the name of Armad Branch. First team all-conference player, Class 5 all-district player. He was our Main Street Sports Standout Large School Player of the Year last year, 2022. He was 8th in the metro area in scoring, 11th in assists, and 4th in steals. He had over 1,000 career points. He helped the Tigers to a 20-7 record in a multi-share, or the way the conference was set up, of the JCA Large Schools Conference Championship. This is Armad's third consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. He was a unanimous selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and he will continue his athletic career as a wide receiver for the Purdue Boilermakers. So Armad has chosen football, much to our chagrin, but that's all right. We wish Armad luck. Fantastic player, and Ray and I have watched this young man play since they brought him up as a freshman about midway through the season for for Festus, and he just took off from there. But Coach, talk a little bit about Armad Branch. I know you got to see him play a little bit.
I did. He's one of those players that's just fun to watch. I know a lot of people like to watch him for his dunks, which is always, it's always fun to see. But he's able to do so many different things on the floor. It's not just about him and dunking. He can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball, he can dish it. I mean, he can do everything out there on the floor.
When you can also add in the area stats, not just Jefferson County area, but I'm talking suburban. When you're 11th in assists and 4th in steals as well too. When you're looking at the whole body of work in our collective area, and you're not just talking about like just like a Michael Jordan leading in points, and that's the only category you're going to see him in. You see him there in assists, and you see him there in steals too. So not only can he put the bucket in the net, he's not bashful about giving it away as well too.
Right.
And he has another game besides just being able to dunk too. I mean, it's nice and fun to see, but he's multifaceted.
And I'll just say this about him, Rod. He's one of these athletes that things come so naturally to him that you just watch him, and it just looks effortless. It's just when he does stuff, and that just blows me away. That's like a whole other level of athleticism, Coach.
Yeah, he's an overall electric player, man. To sum it up in my eyes, it's like you said, he fills in almost every stat sheet, and that's amongst the best of them. He's good, man. He's going to be one great athlete over there at Purdue. I hope we get a chance to walk on for basketball as well. That'll be big time, but great overall player. Great overall player.
And if something ever happened and he didn't like it up there in Indiana, or he could always come back to Hillsborough, right?
Come on home.
We'll make a place for him. Our next player on the list, another senior that we hope to see at the All-Star game from the Hillsborough Hawks. That is Noah Holland. Noah was a first-team All-Conference player, Class 5 All-District, among the metro area leaders in assists. He led the Hawks in scoring and assists, helped them to a 21-7 record. This is Noah's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team, and he was a unanimous selection to the Standouts team. I know, Coach, you probably didn't get to see Noah play. Matt, did you get to see?
That would be a Noah.
That would be a Noah on Noah. What does Noah bring to the table?
I mean, he's another all-around player, that's known for his athleticism, but he can also score the ball. He can pass the ball. He can defend. So he brought a lot to the table outside of just people seeing him and knowing him for his athleticism.
Well, what he couldn't bring to the table, our next guy could for Hillsborough Hawks, and that is the junior Dominic Sutton. Dominic was a metro area leader in three-point shooting almost 40%, Matt. Second in the Hawks in scoring, a 79% free throw shooter. And to me, he was underrated on a team of great players. So I'm glad to see him make the list here. And here again, there's so many guys that could plug in. They really played that team concept, but he's that shooter.
Yep, that's what I was about to say, yeah. That guy can shoot the ball. Feet and hands always stay ready. And he gets it up quick, so that's always good to have. You got somebody that can knock down shots, spread the floor. That was definitely one of those kids that can do that.
Our next guy on the list here, and I don't even know how this worked out, but the senior for Windsor, Max Hartman. Max was a all-conference, all-honorable mention player, an area leader in scoring and free throw percentage. Max, high motor, high work ethic. To me, he was the heart and soul of the Windsor Owls when I watched him play. I mean, his teammates fed off of Max's energy on the floor, helped them to an overall record and a share of the large school conference championship. And this is Max's second consecutive selection to the Main Street Sports Standout team. You can see Matt.
I haven't. I didn't see Windsor at all.
Okay, I was gonna
football field as well.
Yes.
Another football player transitioning over to the basketball side.
Okay.
And I know I don't want to jump ahead once again, but in a program, though, where we're going to be talking about two kids on a team that shoot 82% and 81% respectively from the free throw line. I mean, again, going back to that tough decision of, who do we foul, who do we not foul? Well, you got two of them that shoot 80% from the line that you've got to put in your back pocket. Be like, okay, well, it's one thing to talk about like a person, but now you got
Right.
2 of the 5 out on the floor that you got to deal with, or they
gonna
can
stop?
sneak one of these in at the end of the game. And you're like, oh, doggone it. But Max, definitely, he's got the grit, everything in spades. Again, saw him on the football field as well, and Max definitely puts the heart in Hartman.
He put the heart in Hartman. We have one more player I want to mention real quick, and the reason I want to mention this player is because I'm not a smart man, and my math was off or somehow, and when I put all the votes together, this person could have been on the first or second team, but I want to mention them real quick here, and that is the sophomore from Windsor, Noah Barnes. Noah was also an all-conference honorable mention player. He's a metro area leader in assists and free throw percentage. Noah definitely got better as the season went on. He was really clutch for them down the stretch. So he's kind of my sixth player here. When I put this together, for somehow my math was off. But I want to mention Noah because he was on my list, and he was another one of these kids that really helped them. Another kid like a Leighton Hollis. And Coach McCarthy over there is building a really good program at Windsor, and he's got some really good young players, and he just – at this point seems to be able to reload and come in. But we're going to take a brief 60-second break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about our Main Street Sports Standout Players of the Year. We've got 4 of them for you. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jacob Payton, and we are the Payton family. We're here at Crystal Highlands, and this is the course where we played our first round of golf together as a family.
So this particular course is beautiful. I have never been on a course that you can just stand at the top and see the entire course.
So we just started playing golf as a family this year. If you want a fun family outing that can grow as your family does, consider a membership here at Crystal Highlands.
And we are back, and I'm trying to press the right buttons here. Appreciate everybody being with us. We're running a little bit late here. We want to thank so much the folks here at Crystal Highlands Golf Club for allowing us to be here. We're running late. We want to be sensitive to the time here real quick, but we definitely wanted to say hey and thanks so much to those folks. And again, if you're interested in helping us for the spring season here, you got to give us a call. Go over to our website. Go over to our Facebook page first. Don't go to the website yet. Go to the Facebook page. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see we've got a 75% off sponsorship blitz going on the rest of this week. Give us a call. We will hook you up. We will get you a good setup here for our spring baseball and softball season. Jeffco baseball, Jeffco softball, and high school baseball as well. And we would appreciate that. Real quick, Diamondcast baseball, Herculaneum DeBerg, Saturday, we hope, 11:30. Vikings baseball, St. Charles Community College, Sunday at noon. And I guarantee you that we will see C.B. Walker there. He's always there at all the games. So if you want to check out C.B. Walker at the game, come on and do that as well.
I'll be there too.
You'll be there, yeah, and Matt will be there too, and I'll be there too. You know, so the only one might not be there. Might be Stevie, but that's okay. So
I'll be there.
But Jeff is our PA guy. So I'm gonna throw it back over to you, Jeff. Give us the MVPs, my friend.
Without further ado, and then we'll let you all get out of here tonight. Starting with our JCAA small school girls, our player of the year, without a doubt, Miss Annabelle Wakeland. Congratulations to Annabelle. Second time for Annabelle making our player of the year on our small schools, and very well deserved. Our large school girls, this has been our toughest battle for the last 2 years.
Tough one.
Last year, this young lady lost out to Kyla Schnurbush by 1 vote. This year, she beat Kyla Schnurbush by 1 vote. And that is the senior from Festus, Miss Josie Allen. So congratulations to Josie Allen, our Main Street Sports Large School Girls Player of the Year. For our small school boys, probably no surprises here at all. From the Herculaneum Black Cats, Mr. Gabe Watson.
Watkins.
Or Watkins, him too. Right.
Watkins, the stash.
Yeah, the stash. Mr. Stash. And for the large school boys, another returner. So we had 3 of our 4 were returning. Actually, no, this is his first year playing. That's right. Cole Rickerman got it last year.
That's correct.
Senior from Festus, Armand Branch. So, Coach, you got 2 of those players coming in, 2 of our players of the year. So you got to feel good about that,
yes,
I think.
That's exciting to see, for sure. That's exciting to see.
Just a quick breakdown by classes. We had 21 seniors make the list. We had 11 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 4 freshmen that made our first and second team. Thank you for sticking around with us tonight. And we could talk basketball all night, obviously, as you've heard here. We've got more basketball to come. We've got all-star games. We've got the ABA playoffs coming up. We're going to talk about that as it gets closer as well. We've got the tryouts over at the college, so we're not done with basketball yet. But we'll see you this weekend on the Diamond.
Thanks for being with us on Main Street Sports. We will see you down the road.